गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are in this Viveka Chudamani. In the last class, we were seeing this Vijnanamaya Kosha, and we read about 2 shlokas in that Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha is Buddhi plus Ahankara, that is the intellect, what we call intellect, and what we call the ego sense. These 2 comprise of this Vijnanamaya Kosha, and this is the seat for all this identification. This is the source for identification with the body-mind complex. Though this supreme consciousness is something which is unlimited, it is looking as though delimited because of this upadhi, and that is what we were seeing. In the last class, we read this particular shloka 185 according to this Ramakrishna Mission edition, and 187 according to that Sringeri edition. 187 as per that Sringeri edition. So we read this shloka Anuvrajat Chitpratibimba Shaktihi Vijnana Sangyaha Prakrutir Vikaraha. And I was explaining what is that Anupravesha Shruti also. Anupravesha actually means it is not as though something has entered into something else. It only means that Buddhi is the place where that Supreme Brahman is manifest. So that is the meaning of Anupravesha. Anupravesha is not something entering into something else. It is the place of manifestation. It is the Buddhi is the place where that Supreme Brahman can be realized. So in that sense it is Anupravesha. So Chit Pratibimba Shakti Anuvrajat, Anupravishat, Anuvrajati, Gachati, Pravishati, all are one and the same. Then we have to read the next shloka. Next shloka again is continuing about this ego sense. He is describing what exactly is this ego sense and how long since is it existing. I'll read. Anadikalo yamayam aham svabhavo jivas samasta vyavahara vodha karoti karmanyapi purvavasanaha punyanya punyani cha tatphalani. The third line in your book says karoti karmanya anupurva vasanaha. Anupurva vasanaha, that seems to be a better wording, but here it says karmanyapi purva vasanaha. Here api has no meaning anyway. Anadikalo yamaham svabhavo Jivaha samastavyavahara vodha. He is talking about this Jiva. This Jiva, Anadikalaha, Ayam Jivaha. The first line you see, Anadikalaha, Ayam Aham Swabhavaha. Ayam refers to Ayam Jivaha. Anadikalaha. It is there right from time immemorial. And then, I can't say time immemorial, it is something which is told in the context of history. It is something which is beginningless. The more correct word is, say, beginningless. Anadikalaha, Ayam Aham Swabhavaha. Aham Swabhavaha is that notion of I. Aham Swabhavaha, this notion of I, that is identification with the body-mind complex. That is, notion of I comes only when there is an identification with this body-mind complex. That ego sense, identification with the body-mind complex, that is that I am Swabhavaha, Aham Swabhavaha, then that is Anadikalaha. Anadikalaha, you can say in 2 ways. That is I am Jivaha Anadikalaha. You can explain it as some Bahurihi, or you can explain it as an adjective also. If you are explaining it as an adjective, it is beginningless. Anadikalaha means that whose time is Anadi. That way you can, whose Kala is Anadi. Anadi Kalaha Yasya Saha. So that way you can say, this Ayam Swabhavaha is something which is there. But then there can be a question, because Buddhi is something which is an evolute of Maya, isn't it? Buddhi, after all, it is an evolute of Maya, isn't it? Buddhi and all this whole body-mind complex is an evolute of Maya. When it is an evolute of Maya, there is a beginning. Then how is it that you say it is Anadi? So this is a question discussed by our Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamiji. So he says, because even in Pralaya, what happens in Pralaya? Even in Pralaya, this Buddhi is there in the seed form. This ego sense is there in the seed form. Depending on that only, the next Srushti takes place. Suppose one particular cycle of creation is over. In that cycle of creation, it is not as though everything comes to an end. The buddhi, all the pranis, all these, say, the jivas, in the seed form, that thing is there. And that is the reason why dhata yatha purvam akalpayat. So yatha purvam, as earlier, as in the earlier, say, srushti, as in the earlier cycle, again there is a creation. So that is the reason why it is said it is anadi. In the sense that it is, even at the time of pralaya, it is not going to end. And then right from, and immediately after that creation, again all these things they are again manifesting. So that is why it is called anadi. That is what was explained by Chandrasekhara Bharati ji. So, ayam swabhavaha, aham swabhavaha, anadikalaha. Then this jiva is samasta vyavahara vodha. Vodha comes from the root vaha, vahadhatu, vahati. Vodha, one who carries on, one who goes ahead, one who carries on all the activities. A person who carries on all the activities. Literally speaking, vodha is somebody who carries on. So, suppose a person who carries on all the activities, that is samasta vyavahara. So at this vyavaharika level, he is the person who is transacting all these activities. And then karoti karmanyapi purvavasanaha. Then karoti karmanyapi, he even performs karmani. But this even doesn't have much meaning. But that addition says anupurva vasanaha. Anupurva vasanaha is more meaningful because it is he performs karma according or in accordance with the purva vasana. Anu means paschat, anu means after. So anu purva vasana means in accordance with the purva vasana, in accordance with the purva samskaras, in accordance with the predispositions which are there lodged in the mind. So that buddhi is there in the seed form, and then when it is recreated as a being, so it takes form in some shape, whether it is a human shape or some other shape it comes, and then according to the purva vasana, according to whatever predispositions are there, according to that it performs karma. There may be Vaidika karma, Laukika karma, what type of karma we cannot say, but all types of karmas. Karoti karmanyapi purvavasanaha. Then punyanyapunyani cha tat phalani. This is tat phalani is connected to the next line. Tat phalani bhunkte. Tat phalani bhunkte. Bhunkte is enjoys, he experiences. So punyani apunyani cha tat phalani. This let us read the next shloka also. Bhunkte. Bhunkte vichitra swapi yonishu vrajan ayati niryatyadha urdhvayeshah asyaiva vijnanamayasya jagrat swapnadyavastha sukha dukkha bhogah. So this bhunkte is connected to the earlier shloka tat phalani. Punyani apunyani cha tat phalani. Bhunkte. So this man performs all types of activities, and then tat phalani, all the fruits, the fruit are the results of those activities. Bhunkte. Bhunkte means experiences. Then vichitrasvapi yonishu vrajan. And not in one particular womb. It is not as though a person is destined to be born in a human womb only. He can be born in any womb. It can be a lion's womb, it can be a tiger's womb, it can be some sort of deer womb, or it can be some other womb, human womb, or celestial. It may be a deva. Because Deva also, etc., that is also a Srushti, isn't it? Deva, Danava, Manushya, all these are Srushti. Tiriyak Jantus, all these are Srushti. So, Vichitrasvapi yonishu vrajan, ayati, niryati. He comes and goes. Ayati, niryati. And then Adha, Urdhvam. Adha goes down, and Urdhvam goes up. Means lower levels of existence and higher levels of life. That is lower levels. It can be an insect, it can be a mosquito. You just to flap a mosquito, it dies, it is over. That karma phalam is over. Or it can be a bigger elephant, bigger thing like an elephant, which it will be there for a longer time. So adha urdhva meshaha. Adha is lower existence, like animals, etc., or insects. Urdhvam is something like celestial, human being, and above. They are the celestials, Gandharva and all these Deva Gandharva, etc., etc. So many categories of celestials are told in our, theology. So all those categories we can accept. Then, asyaiva vijnanamayasya jagrat swapnadyavasthaha sukha dukkha bhogaha. For this vijnanamaya alone, Asyaiva, asya eva, for this person alone. Who is the person who is experiencing all this sukha dukkha, I am happy, I am unhappy, etc., etc.? It is the notion of the person who thinks he is I. The person, the entity which says it is me, which has that ego sense, and that is it which is experiencing the sukha dukkha. So, asyaiva vijnanamayasya, then jagrata swapnadi avasthaha, all these avasthas, these three states called jagrata avastha, swapna avastha, that is the dream state, and also the sushupti avastha, and also the sukha dukkha bhogaha, the enjoyment of sukha and suffering of dukkha. All these things, they relate to this particular Vijnanamaya Kosha only. Because this Vijnanamaya Kosha is something like a delimited consciousness which has identified with the body-mind complex. It can be said whether it is delimited consciousness or conditioned consciousness. You can say, use any term. Say this, the Supreme Consciousness is something which is unconditioned. That is something which is indivisible. This is something which looks as though it is objectified. This objective consciousness or delimited consciousness or conditioned consciousness, whatever you want to say. So this is the jiva, because it is having an identity or identification with this body-mind complex. So that is the reason. Then what are all these things? He is further explaining. Dehadinishtashrama dharma karma gunabhimanaha satatam mameti Vijnana kosho yamati prakashah prakrushta sannidhyavashat paratmanah ato bhavatyesha upadhirasya yadatmadhi samsarati brahmena. So it says, broadly the meaning is, this particular Vijnanamaya kosha, satatam, always, mama iti, saying that it is mine, aham mama, I and me, mine. So in that fashion, it is attributing the say characteristics, or attributing, or okay, you can say it is attributing the characteristics of all these deha, indriyas, etc. to its own self. Dehadi nishtha, nishtha means that which is existing in. Dehadi nishtha, deha nishtha is that which is existing in. Deha nishtha has to be taken as an adjective. Dehadi nishtha ashrama dharmaha. Suppose we say dehadinishta dharmaha, that is the dharmas which are there associated with the deha, or which are there in the deha. Dehadinishta, nishta means that which are existing in. Dehadinishta, dehadi means deha and indriyas, let us say, not merely the physical, the annamaya kosha, but pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha also. Dehadinishta ashrama dharma karma gunabhimanaha. Then ashrama dharma. There are certain ashrama dharmas like brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, etc. Each ashrama is having its own dharma. And then dharma, ashrama, then dharma. Dharma means manushya dharma, then some other dharma, etc. Manushya dharma, among the manushas again brahmanatva dharma, then kshatriya dharma, etc., etc. There are ashrama dharmas and varna dharmas, isn't it? Ashrama dharma is relating to the 4 stages in life. And varna dharma is 4 categories which have been made according to sattva, rajas, tamo gunaha. So that those dharmas. Then karma can be a Vaidika karma or a Laukika karma. So all these types of karmas, all types of activities, karma guna abhimanaha, and gunas, various types of guna, whether it is good, bad, ugly, all these gunas, various characteristics are there. Abhimana means identification. A person who is having identification with them. Satatam, mama. Satatam means always, mama iti. So this ayam koshaha, we have to do an adhyahara. Ayam koshaha, this particular Vijnanamaya kosha, always satatam, mama iti, me, mine iti, dehadinishtashrama dharma karma gunabhimanaha. So that is, ayam koshaha is adhyahara. You followed? Anvaya. This dehadinishtashrama dharma karma gunabhimanaha ayam koshaha. This particular Vijnanamaya kosha is that which is appropriating the qualities of the body and mind, body-mind complex to itself. So appropriating, okay, you can say. Attributing, you can say. Appropriating also, you can say. Then Vijnana koshoyam atiprakashaha. This particular Vijnanamaya kosha is atiprakashaha. It is of the nature of say a higher level of say prakasha is literally speaking it is light, illumination, etc., etc. Why is it ati prakasha? That is, it is prakrushta sannidhyavashat paratmanah. Paratmanah prakrushta sannidhyavashat. For that paratma, for that supreme being, this is prakrushta sannidhi. Prakrushta sannidhi means extreme proximity. Prakrushta, very extreme. Sannidhyam is proximity. It is in very close proximity or closest to proximity or extreme proximity with that supreme reality. Why? Because that supreme reality is something which is manifesting as Hiranyagarbha, isn't it? And that from that Hiranyagarbha, if you call it a cosmic intellect, that from that cosmic intellect all other buddhis are appearing as Agneeriva Vispulinga, isn't it? Agneeriva Vispulinga. So from that cosmic intellect to this intellect, there is nothing in between. There is no further filter. You see, imagine Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, etc., etc. These are all so many filters. Annamaya Kosha is at the last end. Which through so many filters, light is coming to that. And Pranamaya Kosha is slightly closer. Annamaya Kosha is, Manomaya Kosha is slightly closer. Much more proximate is this Vijnanamaya Kosha. Between this Vijnanamaya Kosha and that thing, there is no other Kosha. Of course, Anandamaya Kosha is not exactly a filter. Anandamaya Kosha is only that causal state where this mind also is withdrawn. So that's a different thing. But anyway, this Vijnanamaya Kosha, this buddhi or intellect is the thing which is a part of that particle of that cosmic buddhi. Agneeriva Vispulinga, you recollect that say image. So like that, this when that cosmic intellect, like that cosmic intellect, this is also this say tiny intellect. That is the only difference. Jiva. Antahkaranavachinnam chaitanyam jivaha. So that is the point. Then Mayavachinnam chaitanyam Ishvaraha. That Ishvara or the cosmic being, as we say, it is something which is Mayavachinnam, that is delimited by Maya. Of course, he controls Maya, whereas we are under the Maya. So that is the difference. So here, Vijnana Koshoyam Atiprakashaha, this is something which is Atiprakashaha. It is of the nature of, in the sense that this is the place where, say, Brahman can be identified. This is the place where Brahman can be realized. So that is the reason why it is called Atiprakashaha. It is associated with intelligence, associated with consciousness, because it is the place where Atma Chaitanya reflects on this with less filters. There is no filter, first of all. Atma Chaitanya, first of all, it is manifesting as Hiranyagarbha, and that Hiranyagarbha, or that cosmic being, from that straight away you are having this intellect. So there is no filter in between. So that is the reason why it is Atiprakashaha. And he is also explaining Prakrushta Sannidhyavashat Paratmanaha. Paratmanaha is Shashti Ekavachanam. For that Paratma, this is Prakrushta Sannidhyam. Prakrushta, extreme, closest, Sannidhyam. So that is it. Prakrushta Sannidhyavashat, extreme proximity with that Paratma. So there is, therefore, there is more direct expression or reflection of that consciousness. So that is it. If you want to understand this, we have to see that, recall that line. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam yasya bhasa sarvavidam vibhati. So there, the illustration given by Swamiji, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, I read out at that time. That is, the Annamaya Kosha bhati, but it shines after the Pranamaya Kosha. Okay, Pranamaya Kosha bhati, shines, but shines after the Manomaya Kosha. That is, unless Manomaya Kosha is there, this Pranamaya Kosha cannot say function as a function. Unless Pranamaya Kosha is there, Annamaya Kosha doesn't function. So each one is dependent on the other. And this Manomaya Kosha again is bhati on the Anubhati, Vijnanamaya Kosha. It shines after Vijnanamaya Kosha. So that is what we have seen. So that Anubhati, if you see that line of Anubhati, we will realize that it is Prakrushta Sannidhya, we will understand. Then Ato Bhavatyesha Upadhirasya, because it is so closely say very close to the Supreme Atman, then it becomes the Upadhi. It becomes a sort of delimiting thing. And it creates the confusion. It becomes the delimiting thing for that Supreme Consciousness. Upadhihi asya. Asya means to that Atma. Upadhirasya. Asya refers to Atma. Then yadatmadhihi samsarati brahmena. Yadatmadhihi means by identifying with which. Yadatmadhihi, identifying, not there is no by, identifying with which. Yadatmadhihi, yat means by which, identifying with which. So that is yadatmadhihi, ayam atma samsarati brahmena. This atma, jivatma, samsarati brahmena, by delusion it samsarati, it goes on and on and on. Yadatmadhihi, that is, it assumes that this upadhi is myself. Yadatmadhi, atmadhihi means Atma Buddhi. Atma Buddhi means thinking that this is myself. Atma Buddhi, what is Atma Buddhi? Dehadau Atma Buddhi, suppose I say. Atma Buddhi means thinking that they are the body. They are the self. Thinking that they are the self. So that is Atma Buddhi. That is Atma Dhihi. Atma Dhihi is the same as Atma Buddhi. So Yadatma Dhihi, that is identifying with which this Jiva, Samsarati, he goes on and on and on. Is it clear?
Yes.
Samsarati Brahmena. Then he further says, but this Vijnanamaya Kosha is something which is Kutastha. Strictly speaking, it is Kutastha. But then it is unfortunately, it has identified with this body-mind complex. That is what he says in the next shloka. Yoyam Vijnanamaya Praneshu Hrudispurat Swayam Jyotihi Kutastha Sannatma Karta Bhokta Bhavatyupadhistha. Yoyam Vijnanamaya Prane Yoyam Vijnanamaya. That which Yaha Ayam Vijnanamaya, that which is this Vijnanamaya Kosha, that which we are calling as this Vijnanamaya Kosha. Praneshu. Praneshu is actually Saptami Vibhakti. Among the pranas. So there Swamiji explains it is Samipyarthe Saptami. In close proximity with this, in proximity with all these sense organs. Praneshu we use in two senses. Prana we refer to these pancha pranas also. Pranas, by the word prana we also refer to the indriyas. Praneshu, indriyeshu. Indriyeshu, not exactly Saptami here. It is in the proximity of all these things. In the proximity of all these things. In the midst of all these sense organs, you can say, or in the proximity of all these sense organs. Hrudispurat Swayam Jyotihi. Of course, my book says, Hrudispurat Ayam Jyotihi. Hrudispurat Ayam Jyotihi, it says. Instead of that Sringeri edition is better. Hrudispurat Swayam Jyotihi. Hrudispurat. The Swayam Jyoti, which is actually manifesting in the intellect, Hrudispurat. Swayam Jyotihi, that Swayam Jyoti, that self-luminous thing called Brahman, that self-luminous thing which is Brahman, it is manifesting in this Hrudi, in this heart. Heart means not the physical heart, heart means the heart refers to the intellect. Hrudispurat Swayam Jyotihi. Then Kutastha. Kutastha, you know the word Kuta. Kuta is the solid anvil on which the ironsmith beats out the hot iron rods. So that is the Kuta. That is the strong anvil. It doesn't undergo any change. On that some hot iron rod is kept and then this man beats it into whatever shape he wants. So that is, the other thing changes, the red hot iron changes, but not this Kuta. So Kutastha, Kuta iva sthitaha. That is something which is avikari, unchanging. Kutastha actually means avikari, unchanging, undecaying. So Kutastha San. Kutastha San means though he is Kutastha. Kutastha San. Kutastha San evam bhavati. That is, though he is Kutastha, though this Jiva is Kutastha, Kutasthan Atma Karta Bhokta Bhavati Upadhisthaha. Upadhisthaha. Upadhausthaha. That which is, because it is identifying with that upadhi, it is becoming karta, bhokta, etc., etc. So, this Hrudispurat Swayam Jyotihi, that correction, what does your book say? Hrudispurat?
Hrudispurat Swayam Jyoti.
The Swayam Jyoti seems to be a better reading. Okay, then again he further explains. Swayam Parichedam Upetya Buddhes Tadatmya Doshena Param Mrushatmanaha Sarvatmakas sannapi vikshate swayam swatah pruthaktveena mrudo ghataniva. Swatah pruthaktveena mrudo ghataniva. That is, though it is by itself, Swayam Parichedam Upetya Buddhehe. I will explain the words. Parichedam Upetya, having attained limitedness. Paricheda, you know, Paricheda is limitedness. Paricheda, if you see Prathama Parichedaha, Dvitiya Parichedaha, if you say like that, it is a book. Suppose you take a book, Prathama Parichedaha, Dvitiya Parichedaha, if you say like that, the first chapter, second chapter, etc. So that Parichedam is a small delimited say thing is called Paricheda, a division. So Parichedam Upetya, having attained that delimited nature. Upetya means having got, having attained, or having assumed. Assuming some sort of delimitedness, then where has it come from? Buddhehe. Buddhehe, delimitedness. This buddhi is actually delimited. So this para atma is actually identifying with that. Swayam tadatmya doshena, by the fault of this tadatmya, by the fault of identification, false identification. Tadatmya dosha. Dosha means a fault. Tadatmya dosha means the fault of identifying with the body-mind complex. So that is it. Tadatmya doshena param rushatmanaha. Param rushatmanaha is the adjective for buddhehe. Buddhehe is in Shashti Vibhakti. Param rushatmanaha buddhehe. That is buddhi which is extremely unreal. Param, extremely, mrushatmanaha, which is unreal. Mrusha, atma, yasya. Tat saha, that is param buddhi. Buddhi is sa, the strilinga. So this is buddhi is param mrushatma. Param mrushatmanaha buddhehe swayam parichedam upetya, having by itself, swayam means itself, having assumed some sort of delimitedness by the wrong identification with this buddhi. So that is what it means. By wrongly identification for the fault of that wrong identification with this buddhi, then sarvatmaka sammapi, though it is sarvatma. Sarvatma means it is the upadana karanam for everything. It is the abhinna nimitta upadana karanam for everything. Because matsthani sarvabhutani nachamasthani bhutani, we have to remember. That is Gita 9th adhyaya. That is, this is the upadana karana for everything. The material and also the instrumental cause for what all we see in the universe. Of course, the Brahman cannot be limited to the universe. Universe is only a manifestation in that, and Brahman cannot be limited to that. If you say that Brahman is limited to the universe, then it is almost a type of pantheism. You are seeing this universe as Brahman, suppose we say. It is, in English we call it pantheism. It is not that. The Brahma, in that Brahma, it is only a manifestation. Then sarvatmaka sannapi, though it is that say it is the very self of everything. Very self of everything means it is the upadana karana for everything. Then, even then, vikshate swayam vikshate, it sees. How swayam swataha prutatvena. Swataha prutatvena means it sees everything as something which is different from itself. Though the supreme consciousness is something which has no sense of ego, there is no question of knower-known relationship. You see, the knower-known relationship, or this Triputi as we call it, Jnanam, Jnayam, Jnata, this Triputi is only in a delimited entity. And when it in that unlimited consciousness, there is no such thing as Jnata, Jnanam and Jnayam. It is pure Jnanam, where there is no Jnata. We know that. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, in that explanation we have seen that. You see, the Jnanam can have two meanings. That is, I have the Jnanam of this particular cup. That is, in my case, there is what is called some intelligence, and I think that I know this particular thing. So this is the Jnayam, this is the object. And then I am the knower, and this is the object, and there is a Jnanam in between. So this is the Triputi. But whereas in this supreme consciousness, in the sense that this delimited consciousness, the real nature is, it is not different from that supreme consciousness. And because of identification with this buddhi, I am seeing all this. If I don't identify myself with this buddhi, I am that supreme consciousness only. If I don't identify myself with this buddhi, and then through this buddhi and organs I am seeing, if I don't see through these organs, I am that supreme consciousness only. So that is the point. So sarvatmaka sannapi vikshate swayam Svatah prutatvena. It is seeing everything apart, as though everything is apart from its own self. It is not different from its own self. Everything is its own self. Then how is it? Mrudo ghataniva. Mrudaha ghataniva. Mrudaha bhinnaha ghataha iva. It is as though the clay is looking at all these ghatas, all these parts, as though they are different from itself. It is as though the mrut is looking at all these objects as though they are different from itself. So like that, this intellect also, not intellect, this particular consciousness, delimited consciousness, identifying with this intellect, delimited consciousness, identifying with this intellect, is looking at everything as though it is different from itself. Though it is not in reality, it is the very self of all. From it only everything else is coming out. So that is the reason. That is the point. Swatah pruthatvena mrudo ghataniva. Mrudaha ghatan iva. Mrudaha. We can say matti kante. That is in Panchami Vibhakti. Mrudaha ghatan yatha bhinnani yatha pashyati. So like that. Mrudaha ghatan yatha pashyati. Then the next shloka is explaining further. Upadhi sambandhavashat paratma hyupadhi dharman anubhati tadgunaha ayo vikaran avikarivan hivat sadaika rupopi parasvabhavat. The same point in some other language. The same point which says it is assuming the properties of this upadhi. Upadhi sambandhavashat paratma. This paratma, the Supreme Self, upadhi sambandhavashat, for the reason that it is associated with this upadhi, because of the reason that it is associated with this upadhi, upadhi dharman anubhati, it is actually behaving as though having this upadhi dharma. Upadhi dharman anubhati. Anubhati means it acts accordingly. It acts in accordance with the upadhi dharmas. This upadhi says, okay, there is an object. This consciousness also, it says, yes, there is an object. So like that, it appears as though it is having all the upadhi dharmas. Upadhi dharman anubhati. Anu prakasha, prakashate. Prakasha. Bhati means what? Shines. It shines after the upadhi dharmas means it follows. It acts in accordance with the upadhi dharmas. Upadhi dharma is, okay, my eye has got a particular vision. My sense of hearing. So it has got a particular way of hearing. So this consciousness also gets delimited by my mind and by my indriyas and also by my body. So that is the point. So upadhi dharman anubhati tadgunaha. Tadgunaha means like that sukhi, dukhi, etc. I am happy, I am sad, I am handsome, etc., etc. Tadgunaha. Or intellectual abilities. I am intelligent, I am this, I am that, etc. So all this tadgunaha. Then ayo vikaran, he is giving an example. So suppose fire is there. In olden days electricity was not there. Nowadays Swamijis give the example of electricity. Whereas in olden days Shankaracharya gave the example of ayodahati. That is, the iron burns. It is not the iron which is burning. It is the heat which is there, Agni which is there in it, which is burning. So though Agni has no shape of its own, it is taking the shape of, taking whatever shape that iron, material has. It may be an iron rod, it may be an iron plate, it may be an iron spoon, or it may be anything. It may be an iron gate, or it may be anything, iron ball, whatever it is, whatever shape that iron may be, this fire is taking the same shape. It may be a glass, suppose it is heated, it may be something like a cup. Heat takes the form of this cup. So similarly, just as heat, though formless, assumes some form in accordance with the particular object, in accordance with the shape of that particular object or the form of a particular object, in a similar way, this consciousness also assumes the properties of all these upadhis. So ayovikaran avikari vanhivat. This vanhi is avikari. Vanhi is avikari. But ayovikaran anubhati. It follows, it goes in accordance with this ayovikara. If it is a rod, hot iron rod, it looks like a rod. If it is a ball, it looks like a ball. So it's like that. Ayovikaran avikari vanhivat sada ekarupopi. Sada ekarupopi. Sada ekarupopi. It is something which is always unchanging. This consciousness, which is by its nature, by itself is devoid of any sort of vikara, devoid of any vikara. That is, the sada ekarupaha means it doesn't undergo any change. There is no vikara in that. There is no modification in that. Then paraha swabhavat. Swabhaha paraha api. Swabhavat paraha. Swabhavat means by nature. By nature, it is that supreme. It is in that supreme state. By nature, it is nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta. Swamiji says, by nature, paraha, by the word para, he says, nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta. We know those words. Nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta. By its nature, this consciousness is nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta. But it is following the dharmas, it is assuming the dharmas of the body-mind complex. Then, having seen all this, then Shishya is having a serious doubt. When the Guru has explained so well that, oh, this is something which is so strong, this particular sheath is so strong, then the Shishya gets a doubt. If it is so strong, how is it that I can have moksha? If you say that the same Paratma, the same intelligence, it is getting deluded, it is getting, say, delimited by this mind, and it is thinking this body-mind complex is me, etc., etc. When it is so strong, how is it that I am going to overcome it? So that is the doubt of the Shishya. So Shishya uvacha bhramena vastu jivabhavah paratmanah tadupadheranaditvan nanadernasaishyate. Brahmenapi anyatha astu. Here it is not vastu, anyatha vastu. It is not vastu or anything. Brahmenava anyatha astu. This particular jiva bhavaha, paratmanaha jiva bhavaha, for this paratma, for this supreme atma, jiva bhavaha, this notion of being delimited, this notion of thinking that I am the jiva, whether it is, let it be due to Brahma, let it be due to any other reason. So that is the point. Brahmenava astu, Brahmenava api. Brahmenava api anyatha va astu. That is the split. Brahmenava astu, Brahmena pyanyatha. Yeah, anyatha va astu. Or whether it is, or let it be due to any other reason. Anyatha. Anyatha means in any other manner. Let that delusion be due to Brahma or for any other reason. Then what is the thing? What is the result? Tad upadhehe anaditvat. Tad upadhi. That upadhi, what is that upadhi? Vijnanamaya kosha. This particular jiva bhava, for this jiva bhava, this upadhi is Vijnanamaya kosha, isn't it? And Vijnanamaya kosha, earlier we called it as Anadi, isn't it? Earlier sloka, we called it Anadi. Which sloka is it? 186. Anadikalo yamayam swabhavo. Anadikala. In your book it is 188. So this is tad upadhehe anaditvat. Vijnana, that means Vijnanamaya koshasya anaditvat. Because this Vijnanamaya kosha is something which is called Anadi, then na anadehe nashaishyate. And we don't find any sort of nasha or disappearance of something which is Anadi. Anadehe nashaha naishyate. We don't see anywhere the nasha or disappearance of anything which is Anadi. So you are saying that this the jiva bhava is something which is Anadi. And whether this jiva bhava, it may be due to Brahma, it may be due to any other reason. But then when you say that it is Anadi, it cannot disappear. So that is the point. Then the next shloka also is the same thing. Atosya jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati samsrutihi na nivarteta tan mokshah katham me Shri Guru vada. Ataha atosya jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati. Up to that point is the line. Ataha, therefore, asya means for this jivasya, for the jivasya, jiva bhavopi, this particular notion that I am the delimited entity, that also is eternal. Jiva bhavopi nityaha, it will be there. There is no moksha. Jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati. Then samsrutihi na nivarteta. This word for samsruti of the first line has to be connected to na nivarteta. Samsrutihi. Samsruti means samsaranam, going from birth to birth to birth. So that samsrutihi na nivarteta, it is inescapable. That becomes inescapable. Na nivarteta, it becomes inescapable. Then tan moksha katham me. Tan is tat. Tat moksha. Tat means tasmat. Therefore, Moksha katham me Shri Guru vada. Moksha, how am I going to realize? How am I going to realize? How am I going to get this liberation? So that is what it says. The question is very clear, isn't it? So once you say that Vijnanamaya Kosha is something which is anadi, and we don't see any end to anadi. But then the Siddhanta is anadi, okay, Maya is anadi, no doubt, but it is santam. It has an end because it ends by the knowledge of Brahman. So by the knowledge of Brahman, this Maya ends. Though it may be anadi. So the same thing the teacher is going to say. Katham me Shri Guru vada. Then the teacher says, Shri Guru Ruvacha Samyak Prustam Tvaya Vidvan Savadhane na Tatshrunu Pramanikina Bhavati Bhrantya Mohita Kalpana. Samyak Prustam Tvaya Vidvan. Hey Vidvan, oh my dear boy, you are a scholar. Vidvan, he is addressing the student as a scholar. Who's my dear, say, scholar? Samyak Prustam Tvaya. That is, you have very rightly questioned, you have very properly questioned. Savadhanena Tatshrunu. I am going to tell you, Savadhanena Shrunu. You listen very, very carefully. Then Pramanikina Bhavati Bhrantya Mohita Kalpana. This Bhrantya Mohita Kalpana, whatever has been visualized by Bhranti. Bhranti means by delusion, by wrong understanding. Bhranti is actually wrong understanding. Delusion is wrong understanding. Whatever has been, say, Kalpana. Kalpana means what? The Kalpana that he is a samsari. Kalpana that he is a jiva. Kalpana means, say, assumption, let us say. Assumption. The assumption that he, or the opinion. The notion, let us say notion. Notion is a neutral word. The notion that he is a jiva, the notion that he is a samsari, etc., etc., it is due to delusion. It is due to wrong understanding. So such understanding cannot be pramaniki. Pramaniki means it doesn't stand to pramana. It doesn't stand to logic. It doesn't stand to, say, proof. So it is pramaniki na bhavati means yathartham na bhavati. It cannot be true. Whatever has been, say, assumed because of ignorance, because of delusion, it cannot be true. So that is what it means. So you have put the right question. Whatever has been wrongly assumed by you, it cannot be true. So this wrong assumption is that it is jiva, jiva bhava, that he is a samsari, etc., etc. It is wrong. So that's what he says. Bhrantim vina tvasangasya nishkriyasya nirakrutehe na ghateta artha sambandho nabhaso nilata divat. Then again he says, the supreme reality is of the nature of asanga, nishkriya, nirakrutaha. That is nirakrutihi, sorry. So asangaha, that is something which does not have any contact. Like space doesn't have any contact. The space is the closest thing for Atma, isn't it? So the space, even if you take a sword and slash it, make hundred slashes, it doesn't matter, it doesn't change. Asangasya, then nishkriyasya, nishkriya. Kriya is there only in a limited entity. Kriya is not there in an infinity. You see, Kriya can be there only when I want to go to some place, there is a Kriya. That is, I am a delimited thing trying to do another action in a delimited environment. Whereas in the infinity, there is no Kriya. So there is no Sangha, there is no Kriya, and Nirakrutihi, something which is formless. For that Nirakrutehe, then na ghateta artha sambandha. Artha sambandha means artha is saha sambandha. That is contact with objects. That is association with objects. So he is now talking about that intelligence which is now wrongly identifying with the body-mind complex. So in this sense, artha sambandha means sambandha with the body-mind complex. For that supreme reality which is asanga, which is nishkriyam, and also nirakrutihi, with that there is no question of contact with the body-mind complex. So that is what it is. Na ghateta artha sambandha nabhasaha nilatadivat. Nabhas is the sky. Nilatadivat, that blueness, the blueness which we see. For this, when you look at the thing, it looks as though there is something which is it is having a surface, and that whole surface is blue. So that sort of impression we have. So in a similar way, it is only because, just like that sort of darkness, that blueness is a bhranti, it is a wrong perception. Similarly, this assumption that it is, it is jiva, assumption that it is jiva is also something which is wrong. It is a wrong assumption. Then we have covered about 10 slokas very fast, I think. We can read this particular sloka and close. Or is there still time?
No, 5 minutes. Yeah.
स्वस्य द्रष्टुर निर्गुणस्य क्रियस्य प्रत्यग्बोधानन्दरूपस्य बुद्धेः भ्रान्त्या प्राप्तो जीवभावो न सत्यः मोहापाये नास्त्यवस्तु स्वभावात् स्वस्य द्रष्टुः निर्गुणस्य अक्रियस्य. They all talk about Atma. Swasya, that is for the Atman. We are referring to Swasya of that Atman. Drashtuhu, of that drashta. All these are in Shashti Ekavachanam. Swasya, drashtuhu, drashta, drashtuhu. Then nirgunasya, akriyasya. So this is, Atman is the drashta. Atman is the seer. That is the thing, say it is a knower of all things. So for that Atma, which is the drashta and which is also nirguna. And drashta is something which is nirguna. It cannot have any gunas. Only something which is drishyam can have guna. A drashta cannot have any guna. Drashta is of the nature of pure consciousness. It doesn't have any guna. So the nirgunasya, akriyasya. Akriya, just now we saw that word akriya. Akriya and nishkriya is same. A smaller delimited entity can have kriya. Then akriyasya, pratyak bodhananda rupasya. It is of the nature of this pratyak bodha. That is the very nature of bliss. Because ananta is something which is also ananda. Whatever is delimited is something which is not ananda. Whatever is infinite, there is nothing beyond that. That is what is ananda. Bhuma, yovai bhuma, tat sukham. We see that in Bhuma Vidya, in that Upanishad. Bhuma means that is the supreme state. Yovai bhuma, tat sukham. That supreme state is what is called sukham. So like that. Pratyak bodhananda rupasya, because that which is of the nature of ananda, because of its infinite nature, because it is ananta. Then buddhehe, bhrantya. This buddhe, it is not referring to buddhehe. So akriyasya, nishkriyasya, buddhehe, it is not referring to buddhehe. Swasya, drashtuhu, nirgunasya, akriyasya, they are not connected to buddhehe. This is buddhehe bhrantya. This next line is connected to the bhranti. This buddhehe is connected to bhranti. Buddhehe bhrantya, that is because of deluded identification with this buddhi. For this Atma, in these shlokas, the Anvaya is important. Because if the Anvaya is missing, we may connect this buddhehe, akriyasya, drashtuhu, nirgunasya, buddhehe. All are in Shashti Vibhakti, isn't it? Shashti Ekvachanam. So though this buddhehe is in Shashti Ekvachanam, it is buddhehe bhrantya. Buddhehe has to be connected to bhranti. So for this Atman, which is the seer, which is nirguna and also akriya, and also which is of the nature of ananda, because it is ananta, then buddhehe bhrantya jiva bhava praptaha. The Anvaya is buddhehe bhrantya. Because of delusion, because of deluded identification with this buddhi, this jiva bhava is praptaha. That is, this notion of jiva, being a jiva, it has acquired. Praptaha means it has come like that, it has devolved in that particular manner. Then jiva bhava na satyaha, it is not actually there. Then mohapaye, when the delusion is gone, mohasya apaye, apaye means apagati. Apaye nasti avastu swabhavat. Mohapaye jiva bhava api nasti. What is nasti? Jiva bhava nasti. Once the delusion goes, this jiva bhava also goes, because it is very unreal in nature. Nasti avastu swabhavat. It is avastu. It is something which it doesn't exist. Vastu means something which exists. Vasati. Vasadhatu. Vastu is something which exists. Avastu is something which does not exist. Because this jiva bhava is avastu swabhava. So because of that, once the delusion is gone, this jiva bhava also is gone. So we will continue in the next class. Hari Om Tat Sat.